with salt, right? And then he takes salt because like you can't open your eyes now, right? So they cover his eyes with salt, and then they put a bandana around his head, and then he goes around. Right, there's like a real tall guy that lays on the ground, and they have coconuts all around his arms and his head is like a watermelon or something. And he goes by and smashes it one by one. Bang! I couldn't do that. Like I'd kill you. I'd crack your skull.
This is the kind of stuff that gives you brain cancer and why America is so stupid.
That's true. No, there was no.
I think we just throw it out just like that.
No,
right.
When you see things that are not not inside the norm. And you can see people doing them and not killing somebody. Like there was another guy. There was another guy, right, who had a bow and arrow, right, and he had the bow like this, and they spun him in the audience, right. Yeah. They were spinning him, and then he fires off the arrow, and
he took out half the audience.
I think my point with this is
something like that. You can't do that.
Oddly enough,
like that's trained.
It's definitely trained.
Because like one inch off, I'm completely splitting your head.
But this isn't really entertainment. This is vaudeville. This is actually what Scranton was known for when we actually meant something. You know what I mean?
Back in the day.
Right. These are very small acts that are not very... They're very simple. And out of context, they're kind of dumb. And I'm not saying that these things are terrible. But it's a simple thing. You get the idea. There's a target. There's a spun guy. And you understand what's going to happen before you even watch it happen.
It's like the guy who high dives off like the tallest tower into
Jello,
in the Jello, or like the kiddie pool.
Right.
Like you know what he's gonna do in the end.
Wasn't that like Rodney Dangerfield's character from Back to School? Was it Melon? Melon, go do the triple Lindy.
Yes.
Hey, Melon.
But yeah, I just stuff like that. But anyway, going back to it, right? Literally, right, when it comes to America's Got Talent and all that, or American Idol, there has been more than 4.
I'm telling you, there's probably about 12.
Definitely.
I'm talking about actual musicians.
Actual musicians who have created themselves a band.
Kelly Clarkson's also one. Jennifer
Hudson.
I'll give you those are the 2 I thought of.
Catherine McPhee, she's also an actress and singer.
I mean, I give that one as
3.
a maybe.
She actually had She had a top hit,
a
top hit and a top album.
Was it outside of the marketing campaign?
Yes.
When? Okay, that surprises me.
For country, it was country.
Well, don't forget that she also had that whatchamacallit. She also had that.
To make a country record, you just take a good song and just
Dream Girls.
Put electric.
Oh, even that blonde girl, the really dumb one from.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. She was. She did country music, but.
What's his name's wife? The wide receiver's wife?
Yeah, she's like a
Jessie Decker. Jessie Decker.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Dude, if I have to Google these people, I don't count these as like popular musicians. Who is this rando?
Once again, though, she still didn't mention Adam Lambert as another character.
I'll give you Glambert. He was one of the 4 I was thinking of.
He's doing great times.
Adam Lambert.
I mean,
he's making money. That's
all right, so Adam Lambert, number 4.
He's okay.
Jordan Sparks, number 5.
Queen cover. He plays.
Thank you. That's the way I would put that. They are now a Queen cover band.
Queen cover band.
Because it's not really Queen.
Number 6.
Thank you.
That's about it.
Thank you.
5.
So there's
David Cook, because he did have a.
You didn't even mention Justin Guarini.
I have no idea who that is.
He's the guy from this first
He's not on my
season.
list, so
He's the Dr. Pepper guy.
That's true.
And that's sad that the Dr. Pepper guy.
Clay Aiken.
Clay Aiken, yeah.
Ruben Studdard.
I'd say Clay Aiken at this point has a better political career than he ever had a musical career because he only had one decent album. Once again, that was within the marketing campaign. I'm not saying these people didn't have a hit song or two and didn't make a bunch of money off an album or two.
People who had lasting careers.
Thank you. Once other people weren't doing their career for them, they fall off. There's like 4 or 5 of these people that were actual musicians because they're not musicians.
There's got to be around 10. But
we just went through them.
In the top 10 grossing,
because that didn't give everybody.
People. Please, top 10 most grossing.
So Kanye, huh?
Right? How do we get on like American Idol, bro? Nobody wants to talk about this. It makes me want to punch something.
It's because the Kanye thing kind of goes into it all.
Well, here's the thing. I hate to say it, but I think most people on American Idol are doing better than Kanye right now.
First off, Yeezys are like $17,000 a pair. The man's fine.
And he's married to Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, once again, though,
it's
somebody living off of somebody's name.
Well, yeah. Also a porn tape. Don't forget the porn tape. That's very important.
And it's jail slippers now.
It's jail slippers.
All right, you ready?
Oh no, that was
actually
that was Snoop
top
Dogg.
Top four right here, but there are. let's see. Carrie Underwood,
Right,
number one,
that's one.
number one artist,
Yeah, yes.
$16,758,000. Kelly Clarkson,
That was also on the list.
$14,351,000. Chris Daughtry, number 3, $7 million.
Chris Daughtry.
Right.
Clay Aiken, he was $5 million, and he made 5 albums.
Under, I know this is a random question, but I would like to know who they released those under. I wonder who his company was. That must be a decent A&R guy to keep getting him work.
Yeah, but what's
Universal.
Okay, I could see that.
And he had RCA were those, and then Universal was the last. These
Yeah, so
first
four
RCA.
albums RCA, and then 1 Decca Universal.
Yes, and that one only sold 80,000 copies.
Who
his last
releases the? What company releases the stuff for American Idol? Do we know that?
That is.
Is that Universal?
No, that is the record label that
Simon Cowell.
Simon Cowell owns,
Okay.
which I think is
RCA.
I think that's covered under RCA.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so
okay.
Fantasia Barrino.
Yes.
She's
Okay.
a season 3 winner, $3.5 million. Ruben Studdard, number 6, at 2.6. Scotty McCreery at 2.2.
Who?
Kelly Pickler is who I was thinking of. Kelly Pickler, she did.
I'll give her a who
Justin
too.
and Kelly or whatever. She did a movie.
No, that was Kelly
that
Clarkson,
was
man.
Kelly Clarkson.
That was back in the day.
Kelly, yeah, but see, Kelly Pickler only did 1.5 million in sales, though. How many albums did she sell? Yeah, not really a lot.
She's on a TV show.
I would like to see how many of these were sold the year after they were on that
Philip
show.
Phillips, yes, he had one song.
All right, so David Cook, number 9. Philip Phillips at 10. Jennifer Hudson at 11.
I'm surprised she's not higher.
Yeah, so
I'm
so
actually
am I.
surprised at that too.
Only because of Dreamgirls.
Not only that, but I mean, she's one of those people that would put as an actual musician.
Jordan Sparks at number 12. Adam Lambert, 13. 14, David Archuleta.
He went off to the military. He didn't really even have a career, so
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 albums. Mandisa.
What?
Mandisa, she's season 5's 9th place.
Oh, it's a woman.
She made 6 albums. 6 albums. Josh Grayson made 3 albums. Taylor Hicks.
The Undertaker.
What?
He was an Undertaker. Taylor Hicks was.
Oh, I thought you meant like he looked like the Undertaker, like the wrestling Undertaker.
No. He was an actual
He
Undertaker.
also
I
looked
actually
like
like this guy,
Mortician.
Bo Bice. I thought he was a really good. He was a runner-up for season 4.
Taylor Hicks looked like the guy from Sons of Anarchy. The one that was the racist. You know who I'm talking about? Will he owned like the shop or whatever? He looked like George Clooney.
Yeah,
Anyways, the next 72.
did absolutely nothing, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's
Altogether equal Will.
between 20 and 72.
They made
Actually,
about $500,000.
They made under 500,000 albums.
I guess I could
500,000
agree with Dave's statement then. I believe it.
Yeah. So there was 19 above that.
But
Probably-
how many are still household
5.
names though?
5, 6.
Five or six.
Yeah.
Which it goes back to, I don't mean to be argumentative, but I originally gave it 4. So if we even pulled 5, I feel like I'd at least defended the point. But I will say this, a lot of these people actually produced more than I would have expected.
Oh, yeah.
But like I said, I would really like to know who was pushing this stuff the year after that marketing campaign fell off. Because a lot of that is the American Idol tour, the CDs they're selling there,
True.
the CDs they're selling as a promotional thing with the tour. I don't know.
That-
I am biased as shit, and I will openly say that, though. I hate those people, and I hate the stuff they produce, and I openly think that's part of what ruined music in this country. Hands down.
I actually like Chris Daughtry for a rock singer. I thought that because he was a rock singer, he had brought something different to the table as compared to like the pop.
But I think going to
It was a nice
proper
change of
country singers
pace.
that
Well, what I
DJ.
think Dave is going at, and correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm doing this in the wrong way, but what Dave I think is saying is the fact that these guys were just representations of a market instead of an actual representation.
They were a
of what
product.
they
You
were.
weren't seeing
Like
guys...
Ozzy was Ozzy.
Right,
Oh,
or
yeah,
even the
Beatles, I
Beatles.
get that.
Well-
They went on the road. They learned their craft. They came together as a unit. They grew musically. It wasn't like, we wrote you these 6 songs, and you're going to sing them in this key, and you're going to make X number of money, or we're going to get rid of you real quick. And I
because
feel like that's what
that was-
happened to a lot of those people.
But that was the way the contract was written
Exactly.
up. It
Thank
was
you.
it was a code. You had they have to sign a code of contract
Right.
with Simon Cowell, and if you do something wrong, you're gone. If you get arrested,
Bang.
you're out.
Wasn't like the one guy got caught like selling coke the one season? Turned out he was a coke dealer and just didn't know about it before they let him on.
Yeah.
Wasn't
something like that? Yeah,
maybe it wasn't coke, but it was something along those lines. So I remember it wasn't like the dude that with the really tight dreads the one year, right?
Yeah.
Something came out about him, and then all of a sudden, in the middle of the scene, you're like, whoa, you're pretty good, but you got to roll, got to get out of here.
A lot like that, though. But I don't think that just. And me, Will, Tony, Sparky have had conversations before.
He was dealing heroin.
There you go. I remember something along those lines. It was heroin. Okay.
Thank you, Stack Girl.
Writers by themselves, right, are just creating stuff just to
yes.
Like say for example, like how if you look at rap in the '90s, and I'm just going to use rap because I listen to rap, and you look at rap in the '90s, it had a story to it, it had a meaning to it. Like you put an album in, like let's say for example, even
Really
Snoop Dogg's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Snoop Dogg's was a cartoon in a sense, doggy style, but it still had a story that represented culture on the West Coast that we didn't understand.
Yes.
So you put in that album and you're like, you feel it, you're like, oh, the beats, the lyrics, but it's not like that anymore. Like
yeah,
now,
but I mean that's why the East Coast versus West Coast feuds actually happened. It was people talking.
It was
about
meaningful
their
to them
times.
personally.
It was really big beef.
Yeah.
It was beef.
Yeah.
Now you got
Like,
dudes beefing.
straight up where they were just shooting at each other because the Crips and the Bloods were talked about in their music.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like there goes the beef like in song, right in front of you, man, and like people are buying it up. They're like, oh shit, those are some great tunes, but not really understanding that all that tension and hatred goes into it.
But I agree, but I also think like when you hear "Hit 'Em Up," right, and you hear "Hit 'Em," like that's not 5, 6, 7 people sitting in a studio writing that. That's somebody with a pen and a pad that has some violent intentions with this. Like this pencil right now is my sword, and I'm just stabbing you 1,000 times with each line that I write. And like they don't have them anymore. Like you still have them. Like there's still some that are there from the older times.
Oh sure,
but like so like right now, right? Like,
and I think that's only because and not to interrupt you, but like early Eminem music was fantastic because that's what he wrote about. He wrote about his life, his trials, his tribulations, like things that he had to go through, and now he's just doing like pop fodder.
Well, yeah, man. Think about it like this. I have a theory, and I don't mean to be like the hipster douche here, but I like to go with any genre, any band. You go to the earlier stuff for two reasons. Number one, it's a little bit more raw. They're a little bit less produced. But number two, those are the songs that it took them years to accumulate. You're not on a schedule where you got to dump out something because you got a dude on the phone telling you got to make more money.
That's true.
So I feel like they may have put more time and more effort into that stuff than the stuff you get later on. There's a lot of bands that grow, but not as many bands that kind of peak real early and then drop off.
But it still goes to the point, right, that the music industry just drops people when they're not doing anything. Like the music, like
you got to keep
there
hitting.
should never be a moment or time in the music industry where people go, oh, well, that's crazy that Post Malone can give somebody like Ozzy Osbourne a career in his 70s.
That's amazing.
Are you for real? Like, he's done more years of drugs than Post Malone's been on this planet. And you're
right.
like, oh, that's great. No.
Right.
Like,
Ozzy has burned more years away than that man's been alive.
Yeah. I don't care who Justin Bieber is. Paul McCartney's a Beatle.
Right.
So, like...
You wouldn't be here.
Yeah, like, is it the musical association not allowing the Beatles to play like should they have like a CGI Beatles show?
No,
they bring out?
I want to say it's relatable to parents, like not really teaching their kids about older music as well. Like everything is force fed to kids. You're either into the pop scene, you're into the mumble rap, or you're into like not even like a folk. I can't even call it folk hip hop, like whatever the hell it is.
Almost
now.
like a country rap.
A country rap, yeah. I mean, all of that type of music is now force-fed to kids on the radio because they constantly overplay. And they force-feed it, like, freaking sugar.
I don't feel like that's any worse than it was, especially with our age bracket in the early 90s, because you have to figure these kids have a lot more access to a lot more sources.
And that's what it is.
We had to grow up, and basically all you had was Rock 107. When we got lucky, we got the X. When we got really lucky, we got Fuzz.
Yeah.
But my point is,
you're listening to your tape deck, you're listening to your album, you're listening to your CD, and
you got to go find your
vinyl's
music.
making a comeback. Vinyl's making a comeback now.
Yeah, I have a vinyl. I'm not gonna lie. I have a record player.
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
You're the epitome of hipster.
Fuck yes, I am. Yeah. It's terrible, man. I'm gonna get a handlebar
vapor,
mustache.
A vapor?
Whoa, who said I was a vapor? No,
I'm gonna assume that you're a vapor
man,
too.
No.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, I know. You can
What
see
if I had a vape box, man?
see it.
Like, well, I'm sitting here doing like magic wizard tricks, like fucking Gandalf.